Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to another StarCraft 2 broadcast. My name is Anaris, and today we're here watching game number 3 from the Season 5 Intel Extreme Masters Grand Finals between Startail Ace, spawning as the Protoss down in the bottom left-hand position, against his Zerg opponent, Moon. Now, this is a very exciting game. I'm definitely looking forward to it, seeing who is going to come out the victor here, as we're playing on the map Blistering Sands. Now, like I've said, this is game number 3, and if you have not already seen game number 1 and 2, pause the video right now and go watch it. It is definitely available on my channel. You can just click the link up at the top to go to Anaris StarCraft. And alright, so you've been warned. Let's talk about game number 1 and 2 there. Game number 1 took place on Delta Quadrant, where we did see Ace try to go with a 3-gate Blankstalker build. You know, very high amounts of mobility in that build, but unfortunately, with the Zerglings that Moon already had, he was able to easily dispatch that attack and continue expanding and macroing up. Now, Ace, seeing that his first attack didn't work so well, he wanted to expand, get his economy going, a little bit shaken up from that first attack, so he did actually wall himself in and kind of turtle up down in the bottom right-hand position on the map. Moon saw that and he's like, you know what, if he's going to turtle up, I'm going to just expand like a crazy man. And that's exactly what he did. He took his natural, he took both of the high yield expansions at the same time, and his economy just went through the roof, folks. So once Moon's economy was stable, you know, there was a little bit of harassment attempted by Ace, the Protoss player, but unfortunately it just was not enough to stop Moon from continuing on and getting his economy going. And Moon got to the point where he just produced so many Zerglings, Hydras, and a couple Corruptors as well, that there was really nothing the Protoss player could do running off of his 2 bases. So we went on to game number 2, where we did see, it was on the Lost Temple, and we did see actually Ace go with a build that is apparently going to be similar to the one that we're seeing in this game, where he dropped a pylon at the natural and started walling off. He walled off entirely and got his natural going, got his economy up, and went for an aerial-based play, which was dramatically different from what Moon was doing. He actually tried to do a 1-base Nidus push, and that did not work so well. Though some great probe scouting from Ace was able to catch that and secure those Nidus worms. However, the Zerg player, he kept on pressing forth with those Nidus. I think he popped like 6 of them total, and none of them really worked out the way that he wanted them to. So ultimately, Ace was able to come out on top, denying the Zerg the expansion, which came very late in the game, and took game 2. So now we are 1-1, as we are seeing, like I said a minute ago, a very similar build that we saw from game number 2 with Ace, throwing down that expansion and maybe walling off completely. Maybe partially. We'll know in just a moment. It looks like that probe is going to hang out here just in case he needs to throw down something. Otherwise, he might actually leave this open at least a tiny bit and put a zealot in somewhere, something like that, maybe block it off. No, it looks like he's going to be walling it off entirely. Now, one thing he is going to have to watch out for, and this is a little map specific, unlike Lost Temple, this map has a rear entrance to the base. A set of destructible rocks at each main base here will allow a rear access to the main area. So that is something that Ace is going to have to watch out for. And of course, the Zerg player does know that this expansion is going down. He sees it with the Overlord right here, and Moon is just like, you know what, if that's going to be the case, I'm going to send some Zerglings over here, and he might actually decide to attack these rocks. He's just hanging out 2 feet from them. Sure enough, he is going to be taking those down. Now, there is a pylon here for Ace, so he is aware of the fact that these rocks are going down. He hears the Zerglings, he sees them as well. Now, you know, whether or not he actually chooses to do something about it remains to be seen here. He could warp in some units here pretty quickly. You know, warp gate technology just starting, but he could still try to chrono boost something in. He could drop a pylon, maybe get a photon cannon up in time. It's hard to say. The rocks still have plenty of hit points. You see him going down kind of quick, but the important thing to note is that the Zerg player is not expanding. He's going with a 1-base roach play. This is intended to be very aggressive and put a lot of pressure on the Protoss player. Now, the Zerg is hoping that he's going to be able to catch the Protoss off guard, come up here, shut down this base, and then maybe expand on his own and just strangle this natural expansion. You see, there's not a lot of room here, but the important thing about this expansion is there's already a Stargate down. Now, Zerg is not going to have any way of dealing with Phoenix or Void Rays, so you see he's actually chrono boosting out one Void Ray right now, which could be a lot of trouble for the Zerg player, but do note that there are a number of roaches hanging out just outside of this area, and they should be able to attack, maybe one or two of them should be able to attack this cybernetics core right here without being attacked from the cannons. But do note that there's also a bunch of, force field going down right there. The Zerglings were able to break through the rocks there. I was going to say there's a bunch of Zerglings up here in the main base knocking out those probes, but a lot of those probes actually made it to safety. Meanwhile, Moon is actually trying to take out the cannons directly, and this is what the Zerg does not want to see, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that Void Ray right there, starting to get plenty of kills, taking out those Zerglings, and now moving on to engage the Roaches. Do not believe any of these buildings will fall anytime soon, as the Void Ray is actually almost charged up there for just, I thought he was actually going to get that for just a second there, but apparently he's not. Zerglings are actually going to try to take down this main base, though. Again, I don't think that's going to be the case. You got those Zerglings running around there. There's only 3 of them, however. More of them are coming in, but it's not going to be enough, ladies and gentlemen. Now, notice that Zerg is still on 1 base. So, really, he is just hoping that this is going to be it. He's going to try to shut down this expansion, and then it's going to be goodnight Protoss. But there's more cannons are warping in right now. They're all working on 1 pylon. And I'm sure the Zerg player knows that if he can get in there and take out that pylon, he will be able to do a ton of damage. But it looks like he's actually going to go for the cybernetics core. Warp gate technology finished a while ago, so that's not going to be that huge of an issue. However, Ace, all he'll be able to build at this point are Void Rays, Phoenix, and Zealots. Will it be enough? No more cannons here, folks. Gateway is now actually without shields, but not really under that much pressure at this point, as Ace is continuing to rebuild his probe line. Do note that an expansion went down just a moment ago for Moon, as the Void Ray, look at that right there, man. Lings are taking out that pylon. 1 Void Ray still in the field here. No harassment up here at the Zerg base. I'm kind of surprised at that. He's having to use these Void Rays just for defensive purposes. With all this Zerg junk lying around the map, man, I mean, he's got Zerglings everywhere. I call it junk just because it's all scattered around, 3 or 4 different places in the map there for a while. And now the Roaches are actually going to come back here to the ramp and probably assume a more defensive posture. The thing is, though, the Zerg player is really going to have to watch out here. He is now switching over to try to macro up and get his economy going, and maybe a couple additional queens here would definitely be a good thing. But this is oh man, this is not going to be good for Moon at all. He has no defense against this. These Void Rays are going to charge up on this hatchery, which apparently is going to be allowed to complete as the queens are coming down here. It's 2 queens against 2 fully charged Void Rays. I mean, there's also the Phoenix there as well, so he should be able to lift up one of those queens. Sure enough, there it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Other queen is running to safety, but what is safety right now for the Zerg player? Safety is just hanging out farther away from those Void Rays, and that's exactly all he can do right now, as the Protoss player has secured his natural. He's got everything he needs to down here. Plenty of cannons, very, very difficult for the Zerg player to take that out, as, oh man, look at this. The Overlords are going to be going down. Moon not able to do anything. Protoss making a great push here on the Zerg, catching him before he's able to get into Tier 2 and get any defenses, no Hydras, no nothing. There goes that last queen there. 1 Spore Crawler is going down, but it's not going to be done in nearly enough time, folks. Both of those Void Rays are very high in the health. Look at that. One of them just now losing almost all of its shields, but that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Another Spore Crawler going down there. Moon is pretty much out of options here. You see this hatchery, nothing working at it, and there's still 1 queen here. There's the GG right there. All right, so yeah, I didn't think there was really anything Moon could do about that at that point. Once those Void Rays got up there, once Protoss got that air tech, man, Zerg just could not keep up with that. So great play by both players here. Let's go on to the next game, and let's see if we're gonna have a shutout. Maybe we can have maybe a tie go up to the game number 5. We'll see. Alright folks, here we are for game number 4 from the Intel Extreme Masters Season 5 Grand Finals between Ace, spawning as the Protoss player in the 12 o'clock position, against the Zerg opponent, Moon, spawning in the 2. Now you will notice we are playing on Scrap Station, and this is a pretty good map for Zerg, pretty good. Also there's a lot of good warp-in positions for a proxy placement, like place a pylon right here, get vision of this area, also can warp in units down here. One cool thing about Protoss that I like in this map in particular, and we saw that Ace took a liking to this strat in game number 1, blink stalkers. Stalker is actually pretty effective. They can blink through here and then blink through here as well, and save the terrain features for kind of an early defensive fallback position, and put harassment pressure on Moon. That's just one of the many techniques that can be used here today on this particular map, and it was actually kind of interesting. This map has turned out to be not liked by a lot of people. You see it being removed from a lot of tournament rotations and whatnot, but for now it is still in the Intel Extreme Masters rotation, so we're just going to go with it here today. I'm actually really looking forward to this, man. A lot of pressure right now. Game number 4. Ace is currently up 1 game for a total of 2-1 compared to his opponent Moon here, who apparently really wants that probe dead, man. Holy bejesus. That was some insane amount of drones coming off the line, but got a probe for Ace. Gonna be hanging out over here. Looks like it's sitting on about 300 minerals. He sees that drone, sees that pylon over there, man. Now, in game number 2 and 3, we did see the Protoss favor a fast expansion build, and we might see exactly that here in game number 4, as we have a little bit of probe versus drone action. Probe number 2 coming over here, driving the way of the drone. Will it make it out in time? Oh, man, 1 zap. If this probe actually comes over and smacks this drone, he should be able to get him. But no, it looks like this he is going to make his escape. Instead, a forge is going down. Now the Protoss will likely be trying to wall off something along the lines of right here. Or, you know, he could wall it off right here and leave this kind of vulnerable, maybe put some position or put some structures up here at the top. That's going to remain to be seen in the later moments of the game here. Meanwhile, though, I'm going to talk about stuff a little bit more important to right now. For those of you who have not already watched game number 1 and 2, I did go over a little bit about the tournament, and I just want to remind you, these guys are playing for a lot of money and also a lot of fame here. $13,000 is going to go to the winner. Second place, $6,500. It's so much I can't even pronounce it. But no, seriously though, that is a good, solid amount of money for as big a tournament as this is. It's you know, sponsored by Intel, great company. Actually, I use their stuff on a couple of my computers, and I would have to say I'm very happy with it. So I'm just very happy that companies are actually supporting major tournaments, esports, etc. Makes me very happy. Very happy indeed. Ace, all right, let's talk about the game here a little bit more. Ace, his expansion, looking pretty good, man. He's got that Nexus completed. He's got that gateway and the forge down. He's got the cannon. He's probably still going to drop something right here if he's going to go for another aerial base play, which, you know, we have seen him do that in the last 2 games, and this is certainly a very good map for that, with the rush distance between the 2 bases being so short for air units right here, man. You can fit both bases on the same screen almost here. Zerg's expansion is now complete. Got a queen just trotting on down. See, finally able to reach it and start doing her duty for the swarm. More drones are actually popping out here. And, you know, the Zerg is really thinking to himself, you know, this Protoss isn't going to be doing a whole lot right now. He's walled himself in, and the busting attempt that he tried to do in game number 3 didn't really work so well. And I don't think this is a map where he's likely to see that work either. But even though there is a set of destructible debris here, the Protoss could bring in cannon, you know, a couple units right here, and plenty of time before he would actually risk being attacked from the rear here. So I don't think that the Zerg is actually going to try to put too much pressure on his opponent, at least for a little while. For the moment, he's just content with macroing up, getting some drones, saturating the natural expansion, and also taking a 3rd base. Now, this base is definitely a lot more exposed than the natural. You see, it's a giant open area right here. So he's going to have to watch out. In addition, you can also see that players can go around to the high yield and come back and double back into the rear entrance of the base here. So that's something that Zerg is going to have to watch out for. Fortunately for him, though, looking at the army size, you can see neither player really has a lot invested into their army. 45 to 43, most of which are harvesters. See, 38 to 36 right there. Both players have 4-digit income and running off of 2 geysers apiece. Can expect to see that change here for Ace in just a moment, as he does transfer over a bunch of probes. Almost had him go to the wrong assimilator there. Corrected at the last second, however, and there is the Void Ray coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Probably see this Ling or 2 probably killed pretty quickly. Maybe decide to pop off some Overlords. You know, the Protoss is probably thinking to himself right now, you're almost guaranteed to have Overlords floating around somewhere in this area. I mean, that's their early warning for the Zerg player. You know, what Zerg will also do is sacrifice Overlords, sending them through the Protoss base to find out exactly what's going on. And, you know, you can use that Void Ray to get some free kills. Certainly a good thing there, as we do have the Void Ray actually patrolling around looking for exactly that. Any Overlords, any free kills, anything of that sort. That's exactly what he's doing right now. Looks like that. Oh, man, that Overseer popped just in the nick of time. But, old Changeling, and I don't think that's actually going to be... yeah, it's not going to get away. Sure enough, there it goes right there. So, you know, Moon is going to get that crucial information. He's going to see the 4 gateways. Look at that, man. Perfect spot to die in. He sees all 4 of those gateways, right there, and knows exactly what's going on. I don't think he saw the second Stargate. No, he did see both of them. So he is pretty much up to date on what he needs to be building, which right now he does have 1 Spore Crawler here. Very good idea. That's something that really hurt him in game number 3. Did not have any anti-air defense when the Protoss player pushed over with the Void Rays and the Phoenix, so he ended up just getting slaughtered in his main base without having any of those tier 2 units or tier 1 defenses against the Phoenix. So we do hear the Phoenix actually taking out 1 Overlord. We see a very, very slow creep highway. We see he's got the creep turned on for these Overlords, and there is actually a couple Hydras here who are trying to take advantage of their additional speed on the creep. But Zerg has got to be hating the Protoss right now, man. Just knocking off these Overlords. 1 Phoenix, taking them down oh so slowly. Nothing that can really be done on that. You can see the Carapace upgrade is on the way as we speak, but not quite done, so probably lose one or 2 more Overlords in the process. That's pretty much all the action so far we've had in this game. Looking at the economy right now, we can see about 1,700 to 1,200, 69 to 44. That you can really tell that third base is coming into play here, as a bunch of Hydras are being produced. This will be great in dealing with the aerial harassment, especially if he just positions a couple Hydras in the mineral line at any base that he feels could be coming under attack. It'll really deter the Protoss from trying to do anything like that again, which right now it looks like actually the Protoss is getting ready to mount some sort of offensive. Does he actually see this expansion? Yes, he does see it right here, and now he's going to be going in. Oh man, look at this, man. Plenty of Hydras ready to do lots of damage here. However, the Spore Crawlers are trying to keep up with the Phoenix before all the Hydras actually get lifted off and die. Look at those Zealots, man. They're doing everything they can to get in there with the 1 weapon upgrade. Very good idea to get that very early on, as the Hydras also have the 1 weapon upgrade as well. Pretty good engagement here. 1 Void Ray has gone down, ladies and gentlemen. Spore Crawler very happy with itself. 1 kill. Oh, but it's so very important, as the Queen so very close to death. 40 hit points right there as the Zealots continue to press in. Drones are actually having to tank for the Hydralisks, and finally that attack has been put to a stop. So overall, that was a pretty good defense for the Zerg player. You know, he did lose a few units there. We can actually look at the units lost tab and see 53 to 29. Zerg has lost, you know, he's lost a good bit more units, but certainly not as many resources as his Protoss opponent, who right now is still trying to do a little bit of harassment with the Phoenix. Not going to be super effective, though. We can see the kill count on that. 1, 4, 2, and 3. Got a couple more on the way, as Zerg is actually working on that second weapons upgrade. Probably going to be sticking with the Roach Hydra. Probably a little bit heavy on the side of Hydra, at least for a while. The Zerglings are a great addition. The mobility, man, without having these rocks destroyed, speed, getting across the map as quickly as possible is going to be really important. And also, Moon going for that risky expansion down here, taking this high yield. He sees the opportunity. He knows that the Protoss is a little bit weak in the army right now, and he's continuing to actually invest in these Phoenix, man. That's all he's building at the moment, and Zerg, of course, is getting that Spire. A little bit behind the Phoenix, but at this point, you know, late is better than never, as Ace is just rocking these Overlords, man. Look at this. He might actually get him supply blocked if he's able to continue to hunt them down. There's 1 more right here getting ready to be sacrificed over in the Protoss base. Sure enough, there it goes. There's 1 over here. I think there's 1 or 2 more somewhere around here. But, yeah, all in all, working out pretty well for the Zerg. Moon definitely sitting on a good chunk of money right now. We can sit about 600, 700. So ready to build up whatever he wants to in the coming moments. As, once again, the Phoenix are going to be heading out towards the Zerg base, apparently, hunting for more Overlords, man. This is a really good way. Oh, will he catch the queen? Oh, yes, there he goes. All right, excellent. This is a really good way of delaying the Zerg, you know, massing up the forces like they try to do oh so very well. Just knock out all those overlords, man. You see right now he's actually supply blocked 130, 129 to 120. Going in for that overseer, going to be getting that 50 minerals, 100 gas right there, folks. Couple changelings actually getting in here. Oh, looks like Ace caught those super quick. Good eye on that, buddy. Expansion's now done for Moon over here. No drones on it just yet, being largely ignored, dealing more with the Phoenix harassment. Oh, looks like that Hydra's going down as Ace is really pushing the Phoenix play, man. Now, notice while he's doing that, he's also working on and getting Colossi and their upgrades. But the important thing to note here is that the Zerg player is still working on one more base than the Protoss. So really, I think that's going to give him a good advantage here. He's able to get all the tech that he needs. He's already got all that established. He's working on those upgrades. He's even getting the upgrades for the aerial units, working on those corruptors right now. Corruption will definitely be a nice addition to the Zerg army, which still just consists mainly of not ultras, but Hydralisks and Zerglings. We can look at the units tab and see we got 4 corruptors, 22 of Zerglings and Hydralisks, compared to the Protoss, who has 23 Zealots. That is a lot of money invested in those right there, folks. They do not have the charge upgrade, but like I said before, they do have weapons level 1. Looks like I just got one scouting Phoenix going to be coming over here and seeing what's going on. I noticed that the Zerg player is doubling up on his Spore Crawlers in the mineral line here. He knows that the Protoss player has plenty of Phoenix, more than enough to really have to worry about one Spore Crawler. So he's been a little bit more ballsy with those, probably a little bit more, may decide to be a little bit more aggressive here in the future as well. The thing is, though, he's got these corruptors, man. The Zerg is going to really be able to produce a bunch of them. We see here he's making 7 at this point in time. Also, like how Moon is making sure that only he can build this expansion, at least until this Overlord has died and the creep has rescinded. Here comes the Protoss, got the Phoenix on the move. Looks like he might try to find any free kills here in base number 3 while he moves out with the Colossus, man. Uh-oh, knocking out the creep. Gonna have a pretty big engagement. Got enough energy here for some force fields, I think. Sure enough, yes, we do. Got enough for plenty of them, and actually Zerg is going to, or Protoss is going to be pulling back here, waiting for that creep to rescind. Just a tiny bit. He sees what's going on now. There's the Colossus, got 2 of them. Second Colossus has joined the field. Here comes the engagement right here, ladies and gentlemen. And the Phoenix are actually trying to do as much damage as they can while lifting up some of these Hydras. And notice the force fields have gone down, and a lot of these Zealots are running around on the side here. Most of the forces for the Zerg are able to fire from behind. Both Colossi have gone down, and now Moon has emerged the clear victor here, as the Protoss is having to retreat here with his Stalkers, who were able to fire the force fields. They were just way too late for that engagement. Now the Phoenix actually did retreat initially, trying to lift up as many Hydras as possible, but when you've got the Phoenix against that massive amount of anti-air, there's really nothing you can do about that, man. And that's, you know, the Protoss realizes that he's still just on 2 bases. His income is really going to start to dwindle here in the coming minutes. We can see right now 2,300 to 1,100, and like I said, man, he's got the high yield down here. We're already seeing that pay for itself, and here comes the giant push from the Zerg player, taking out so many Phoenix. Look at that corruption ability landing on all of them right there, and now Zerg is moving out in full force. Oh, wow. 194 to 84, ladies and gentlemen. And there's the GG from Ace. We are now 2-2, tied up in this series. So let's go on to game number 5 and see who's going to take home that sweet 13 grand.